نبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Eid Ghadir Mubarak to all of you. Usually the Hawza is closed on Eid Ghadir, but since many people, they are locked down in their houses and they don't know what to do. So, people, they did not have anything else to do. So we said that let there be something they can learn, and we give the reward of it to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. So we're going to take part 2 of the response of Sayyid Sistani to Sayyid Alkhoei Quddasa Sirruh. And let's bring the slides. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So last week we mentioned that there are 3 main issues Sayyid Alkhoei Quddasa Sirruh used to tackle on the issue of the the sharing of the night. So once the moon is out from the shadow, he said this moon is one moon for the entire earth. His argument, because scientifically the moon does not go back. So once it's in a sightable condition, it is sightable condition for the whole people of earth. Okay? So it does not go back. So it's one moon and out. Number 2, the narrations, hadith of Ahl al-Bayt alayhi wasallam. He said these are absolute, mutlaqa. That was number 2. Number 3, he said that so number 1 was the absoluteness of the narrations. They don't restrict sunset or sunrise. The narration, so scientifically it's one for everybody. Number 2, the narration. Number 3, his issue was that دعاء في يوم العيد اللهم بحق هذا اليوم الذي جعلته للمسلمين عيدا. I'm asking you for the sake of this day of Eid. So it's a one day of Eid. It is a one day of Eid, not said ayyam, days. It's one night of Qadr. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil Qadr, not nights of Qadr. Okay? So here we had this. So in response, say this Sistani Damaballah. Number 1, scientifically, he responds scientifically. Number 2, narrations, he responds narrative analysis. So he responds with this narrative analysis, that the analysis of the narrations of the hadith analysis. Number 3, the issue of one day of Eid and one night of Qadr. He said that's simple. If by limiting one night and one day, okay, we are going to fall into scientific contradictions. See how much science our maraja, they are paying attention to. But unfortunately, their ignorance from our Shias, they don't know how much science they have. So they use the science in these issues, fatwas and analysis and analogies. So they use the science. So they say scientifically, if we have a problem in one Eid and one night, then this cannot be one Eid and one night for all the people of the earth. Yes, on the general level. However, on the individual level, you can have only one Eid. So say this is based on qadiyya shakhsiyya. If you have studied logic, we have qadiyya shakhsiyya and qadiyya naw'iyya, on a generic and on a specific. So basically, if we look at the generic issue, in general, for everybody's one Eid, Even the concept of Sayyid Alkhoei does not allow that. Why? Sayyid Alkhoei, he had to restrict with night, sharing of the night. Why? Because the moon sighting starts from the night. Why? Sayyid Sistani and Sayyid Alkhoei, they both say that the urf, the common practice in the time of the Prophet ﷺ and before the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there are these two key issues. Two key, and Islam came and approved those two key issues. What are those two key issues? The day starts from the night. So they would observe the moon at night, and next day they will declare it the first day. That was practice. Sharia approved it. Number two, observation by naked eye, not with telescope, not with any sophisticated equipments, devices, or any, by eye, naked eye. Because if we say by telescope, it could go back also, and then it could go back and back until the original emergence of the moon from its shadow. So these were the two key points where Sayyid Alkhoei and Sayyid Sistani, they are explaining the religious texts. What was practice in that time? How is it practiced in that time? When would they start the day? They would start from night. So number one, we said that Sayyid Alkhoei said we have to put the night. So night starts. Number two, hadith are absolute. Which Sayyid Sistani says no, hadith are restricted. That argument, inshallah, is going to be next week, inshallah. He says the hadith are not absolute at all. The hadith are limited and restricted. There is a restriction. That restriction is going to discuss. Because Sayyid Alkhoei said there's no unity of the night or unity of the sunset or unity. All these are not there. Hadith says if it's proven here, it's proven here. Finish. Sayyid Sistani says no, it's not like that. There are restrictions. We are going to discuss those next week. The third point was one Eid, one night of Qadr. Sayyid Sistani says if that's the case, the general, everybody on the face of the earth must have one night. Like for them, there's only one night. It's contradicting. The time zone, there's Monday, there's Tuesday. There are two different nights. There's Sayyid Alkhoei by himself. He said, we start from the night. That means those regions who are before this region where the night, where the moon was sighted in the region sharing the night. What about those where the night was not before, night had already passed? Okay, so those regions, they are going to have next day. So we have two Eids and we have two Laylatul Qadr. Sayyid Sistani says to avoid that scientific conflict and contradiction, we have to consider on the base of individuality, shakhsiyya, specificity. What's that, Sayyidina? Can you explain? Sayyid Sistani says, every human being has one night of Qadr. Mine could be today, yours could be tomorrow. But I cannot have more than one night of Qadr. You cannot have more than one night of Qadr. And generality, I mean, and moon sighting, I mean, what they say, night of Qadr, Eid. I can only have one day Eid. I can't have 2 days Eid and they pray two Salat Eid. And no. It's one day Eid I have, either today, either tomorrow. You have one day Eid. So Allah has made, designated for each human one day Eid only. So بِحَقِّ هَذَا الْيَوْمَ الَّذِي جَعَلْتَهُ عِيدًا لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ عِيدًا, by the sake of the day of the Eid. That means my day of the Eid today, your day of the, this is one day. You are not going to have more than one day. I'm not going to have more than one day. It is one day of the Eid. I am asking you, Allah, by the sake of that day, which is my Eid today, and night of Qadr. My night of Qadr is tonight. So it is one night of Qadr. I'm not going to get more than one on those 3 nights or last 10 nights. One night is only my share. So it is one night of Qadr. The Prophet ﷺ had one night of Qadr when Quran was descended. Imam Ali ﷺ had one night of Qadr when he left this world. So there is one night of Qadr. Each individual has one night. If this year it falls on 21st of Holy month of Ramadan, you will, if you are a follower of Sayyid Alkhoei, you will have it one day before than mine. But you are not going to get 2 nights of Qadr. So that's specificity and individuality. So individually, each person has one Eid, not more. So, so that's the solution to solve the problem of Sayyid Alkhoei's understanding of you made one day of Eid. How can Sayyidina there be one day of Eid when you by yourself, you said that the day starts from the night. That means before that night, the moon is sighted in a region where it shares the night. But there is no moon there. There is no night sharing there. So there is that was the issue of Sayyid Alkhoei. So this is in summary 3 arguments. Sayyid Sistani responds to 3 arguments. Argument number 1, scientific. It comes out for all the people of earth. Sayyid Sistani says no. The hadith are absolute. Sayyid Sistani says no, it's restricted. The last one day Eid, one night of Qadr, Sayyid Sistani says no. Even to your theory, it has a problem. So it is individually one night of Qadr, one day of Eid. This was the summary of Sayyid Alkhoei. Now let's Sayyid Sistani, his last week we saw his response. He had 5 responses to the point number 1, which is scientific. He responds to the scientific analogy of Sayyid Alkhoei, but that it comes out for all the people of earth. Sayyid Sistani puts this restriction. The moon comes out from the shadow, but is it sightable for all of the people of the earth, for the entire people of the earth? Or no, for region, yes, for region, no. So that's what Sayyid Alkhoei might have missed. That doesn't indicate that Sayyid Sistani is a'lam. When we are discussing this, even if Sayyid Sistani at the end comes out to be accurate in this, it doesn't show that over and all a'lam. That goes to Ahl al-Khibra. Ahl al-Khibra can decide who is a'lam, most knowledgeable, Sayyid Alkhoei, Sayyid Sistani. And even in this ruling, Ahl al-Khibra will decide. So maybe Sayyid Alkhoei was a'lam in general, but in this ruling, Sayyid Sistani might be a'lam. So Ahl al-Khibra decide. Many Ahl al-Khibra, they consider this concept of Sayyid Sistani to be indicative to his a'lamiyya, at least in this area. So Sayyid Sistani says, and even Sayyid Alkhoei, that if you find a marja a'lam in an area, then you have to refer to him. And if you see he's equal to another marja in his methodology, then you have an option to either stay on your old marja or refer to. And this from mouth of Sayyid Sistani to my ears, I heard it from him. He said, if 2 were equal in alamiya, then a per mukallaf can choose any one of them. Now we come to the argument. So first argument of scientific argument, Sayyid Sistani responds with 5 points. 3 points we had discussed last week. We are going to take 2 further points today. Okay. So what are these 3 points? Point number 1, the moon comes out from the shadow. Okay, scientifically, when the moon comes out, exits the shadow, it is not sightable for the entire regions of the earth equally on the same day. So to avoid that problem, Sayyid Alkhoei had to use the night. He kept the night. Another problem happened. The night has to be taken into consideration, which he did, based on the common practice. Urf, remember Urf, which was approved by our A'immas alayhimus salam, they used to consider the night beginning of the month. So there has to be night where the moon is sighted or is in a sightable position. So start from the night and by sighting with the naked eye. So that's why the Sayyid Sistani, Sayyid Alkhoei have problem with telescope, because the hadith, they focus a lot on eye and naked eye and ru'ya. So we are going to discuss this further. In one session is all about telescope, why they don't allow telescope, Sayyid Alkhoei and Sayyid Sistani together. However, in the east of those sightable regions at night, the moon is weaker than being in a sightable condition with the naked eye and even with the telescope. So the moon is weaker than it could be sighted in the east. Remember, We sighted here in the east, it's weaker. So I can't, even it's not sightable in the east of the earth. So for those who consider the telescope, even many northern and southern regions in the west of the sightable regions have the moon in a position which makes it impossible to be sighted even if they share the night. So when we look at this moon sighting curve, you see east, let's say this is the moon sighting curve of first Muharram. So first Muharram is expected for Sayyid Alkhoei on 20th August, because 19, the seat here is written 19th August. 19, it will be sightable in South America. So whatever regions share the night with South America. So how will we know? Look at this curve. So, so basically, I'm showing my class, so those who are on Facebook and YouTube, I'm showing this curve. You can see that if the west is sighted, if any place is sighted in the east, there are regions in the west, they are dark on the northern region. So it's not necessary that it is in a sightable condition even in the west. So that's why Sayyid Sistani went with these parameters. So the parameters of the moon in the west should be equal to where the moon was sighted or more, not less. You can't go east. Unless if the distance was very narrow, that means the parameters were almost same. But if the parameters of moon sighting, that the inclination and the angle and the rise of the moon and all these kind of things which are kept in equations of moon sighting, and this thing forms. By the way, I said Sayyid Sistani could be more accurate in this, and I said not necessarily means Sayyid Sistani is alam. That is another topic we discussed previously. But here, even if Sayyid Sistani is alam in this ruling, Sayyid Alkhoei was not because of his abilities in depth. No, because of the resources which Sayyid Sistani has, were not available to Sayyid Alkhoei. As we mentioned, all these computergrams and all this accuracy in astronomy, it is something more and more modern. It was not that accurate in the time of Sayyid Alkhoei. And these kind of the panoramic views which we are seeing, and where the moon is not sighted in the west. If Sayyid Alkhoei had this, he might have given the fatwa according to the scientific, because he based his theory on scientific knowledge which was available to him in his time. So this is something more advanced. So that is why if people, they follow Sayyid Sistani in this ruling, it shouldn't be problematic, because there are, like Sayyid Muhammad Rudwi in Canada, he follows Sayyid Alkhoei. He told me that in this ruling of moon sighting, I'm totally to Sayyid Sistani. So there are many, and Sayyid Muhammad Rudwi is, mashallah, one of the amazing knowledgeable, one of the very few amazing knowledgeable personalities available in North America, because not everybody wears amama, is close to Bahth Kharij, done higher level of Bahth Kharij, and has analytical ability. So he's one of those few who is very deeply knowledgeable in fiqh and analysis of fiqh, and he has totally referred to Sayyid Sistani Damadullah in this ruling. The remaining, he is, according to my last conversation before a couple of years, I don't know if he has referred totally to Sayyid Alkhoei, Sayyid Sistani or not, but in moon sighting, according to my conversation with him, he follows Sayyid Sistani Damadullah in rules of moon sighting. So if somebody would refer and be satisfied because he has done a lot of comparative researches on this thing. And there are other Ahl al-Khibra also, they consider the direction of Sayyid Sistani more accurate. So if you want, you can just based on Sayyid Muhammad Rudwi, and inshallah you can act according to Sayyid Sistani in your moon sighting issues, if you are a follower of Sayyid Alkhoei. Because there are issues there in the direction of of Sayyid Alkhoei according to Sayyid Sistani. So now this is about Muharram. So you can see in Muharram this we are sharing the night. First, let's see sharing the night and see the moon. So the moon is sighted in South America from top till bottom, including Panama's. And we have Panama's. The sharing of the night is from Panama till half of India. So follower of Sayyid Alkhoei, if they are satisfied with this moon sighting in their, ability of moon sighting, then it is must on them to consider Muharram on 20th August, which is a Thursday, I believe so. Let's check it out. Yes, it is Thursday. So 20th August, it's Thursday. So basically, 20th August would be Thursday. Now, but Sayyid Sistani has made a request to the Mu'mineen and made a proposal, since Ashura does not involve with wajib or haram or hajj or anything. So it is better the Mu'mineen observe one Ashura day as a commemoration. You can do amal according to your day of Ashura, but the day of Ashura commemoration should be done according to Karbala. So basically, those who are following Sayyid Sistani, they are going to follow all of them except for those who are living in South America. So you can see the moon, South America only Sayyid Sistani follower will have on Ashura one day earlier for Sayyid Sistani followers. The rest of the Sayyid Sistani followers, second day. So their Ashura is the whole world is going to have one Ashura. Followers of Sayyid Sistani. So mark these things because these might get you confused. So who am I talking about? Followers of Sayyid Sistani. They are going to have Ashura, all of them together in the whole world, except for South America. They will have their Ashura one day earlier. So for South America, it is advisable for them to do the Amal one day earlier, but next day do the commemoration of Ashura according to Karbala, the tragedy day. Okay, so that is one of the things which is now for Sayyid Alkhoei followers, yes. For Sayyid Muhammad Sa'id al-Hakim, it's going to be same. The next day is going to be Ashura for the entire Asia, Europe, Africa, and one day earlier is going to be for the both Americas because he looks at the continent. He doesn't look at sky. So North America, South America. When we come to so Sayyid Sistani followers will have two Ashuras, South America one, the rest of the world another. Sayyid Muhammad Sa'id al-Hakim will have Australia and two Americas, one, and then the whole world, Asia, America, Africa one day, which is going to be the next day. And as for those say Sheikh al-Fayyad, Sheikh Wa'id al-Khurasani, those who are the same like Fatwa of Sayyid Alkhoei, so their Ashura is going to be from India till Africa, in India till America, one day earlier, according to this scientific directions. Okay. So this is something which I wanted to mention out. So however, in the east of, so we observe the moon sighting. So here, he wanted to avoid, Sayyid Alkhoei Quddasa Sirruh wanted to avoid multiplicity of the Eid using science and religion. However, by the concept of sharing of the night, using the concept of sharing of the night. What happened? My sharing of the night, my sharing of the screen went away. Okay, so I need to fix this here. Using the concept of sharing of the night. However, he ended up into multiplicity of the Eid and of the Laylatul Qadr. He tried, But there's no way, I mean, there's no way you can have one Eid for the whole world. Scientifically, you cannot do that. Okay, religiously, you cannot do that. So science and religion goes together. The concept of taking the sighting of the far countries leading to the leads that to the fast of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Imams alayhi salam and their Hajj and their all deeds related to the specific days of lunar calendar is obvious. Leads to their fast being invalid. Okay. Days being invalid. Okay. So that means Imams, they have knowledge. This is the point, strong point. Imam, if the Shias, actually the right Shias, the proper Shias, the core Shias, okay? I'm not talking about the mutant Shias here and there, few extremes here and there. The core mainstream Shias, they believe our Imams, they have knowledge, okay, of mathematics and everything, every science. And let's say those extreme Shias or those non-Shias, they say, how can you say that? Even if they did not have, hypothetically, there were people in their time, scientists, people, mathematicians, their narrations showing that there were astronomers, there were mathematicians, there were calculators, they would calculate the time of the moon. So either Imam, either this. They had knowledge. Imam would observe the moon when it disappears and would wait for moon when it appears. So it did not appear here. It might appear after 1 hour, 2 hours. Imam had this inside himself. He had this knowledge. So that means Imam knows that after 3 hours or 4 hours, somebody will sight it. But Imam did not do the sharing of the night. Imam was told by one of the narratives that Yabna Rasul in Andalusia, in Spain, in Africa, in Morocco, Egypt, these countries, calculations indicate they're going to sight the moon. Imam did not say you're wrong, you should not go to the calculations. No. Imam said that Imam made it in a doubt that do break your fast when you sight, when it is sighted, and break your fast, like break your fast on the day of Eid and fast on the first day of Holy Month on citation. So citation say this is not, says there are evidences indicating sighted or it is sightable astronomically. So here that the Imams knew. That means they did not follow the sharing of the night. If they did not follow the sharing of the night, what does that mean? That means that their Hajj was invalid, their fasting was invalid, and they have committed haram by fasting on the day of Eid. That's too much. So so that concept is not accepted. Sharing of the night concept is not accepted by our Imams. Otherwise, they would have followed. You can't say they did not have knowledge. They had knowledge. If they did not have knowledge, as you say, then there are others. They had knowledge, and they were close to Imams alayhi salatu wasalam, and they would communicate to the Imam. Numerous hadith, so many hadith indicates the astronomers, because this science was there, science of calculating the moons and the movement of the moon. It's not something new. The scientists, they have data for 1,000 to 2,000 years of data of tracking the moon and the timing of the moons and all this kind of movement of the celestial bodies. Okay, so invalid. It is obvious that they used to rely on the beginning of the lunar months on sighting in their cities or cities closer to their cities. They had the knowledge, and they had mathematicians who used to predict as well, looking at the computer data of the position of the moon, tracking it back to their time and dates of some of those their fasts and Hajj from the religious text. It appears that in many of those days of fasting, the crescent was clearly sightable in very far distant lands. Therefore, due to the concept of sharing of the night, the Ma'soom, peace be upon him, went wrong. So we can't say that, because they were the role models. Their ibadat was the most perfect ibadat. So this is, we mentioned, see the distant lands. So there is no moon sighting here ability. There is no moon sighting even in the west of the region. This is another moon astronomical website I wanted to introduce you. And this is the web page of them. Excuse me. This is their web page, astro.uk. Like Nasimco depends on this coloring changes, but they both use different calculations. I'm going to point out, you see, this issue. This issue is very important issue. Why? Because many of our mu'mineen, some of them are really ignorant. When people, they challenge Maraj, I consider them ignorant. People say, why you keep saying ignorance, ignorance. Well, I'm an ignorant as well, okay? I'm an ignorant, but I try to learn. And I'm not stubborn in my ignorance, alhamdulillah. But I'm talking about those stubborn ignorance, not any ignorance, not regular. May Allah bless them. Everybody's trying, but they're stubborn ignorance. They're ignorant, and they're ignorant, they're ignorant. They have compound ignorant, as they say in logic, jahl murakkab. First of all, they're ignorant about the knowledge of our Maraja. Second, they're ignorant that the science is not 100% perfect. The science is developing. Even this flashy curves, what we see, I'm going to prove it now, that even the astronomers, they differ. How can you science and science? I'm going to show you now. I'm going to prove you that astronomers, they have different. Khalid Shaukat uses an equation. This website uses another equation. So these are equations. They put data, the height of the moon and this and that, and based on the constant of the equations used by Khalid Shaukat and by this, results are different. So astronomers differ. So who should I follow, this one or that one? Let's look at this. According to this, that Khalid Shaukat, what did he say? The first moon sightable will be in South America. Look at this astro. This guy says the first moon will be sighted in Ivory Coast in West Africa. How much distance is between West Africa and America? This whole strip of Atlantic Ocean. So who should I follow if I am living in East Coast, West Coast, Ivory Coast? Who should I follow? Should I follow Khalid Shaukat? No. That is why S Alkhoei says, if the astronomer's word, and S Sistani also, if they give you satisfaction, then you have to follow. Wajaba. If they give you knowledge, this does not give me knowledge. Beginning of Muharram, curve, astro tells me first moon sight if I'm in Ivory Coast. Astro tells me, yes, moon will be sighted. Moonsighting.com tells me, no, the moon will not be sighted here. It will be sighted in South America, the first sighting. So this does not give me satisfaction. Yes, S Alkhoei says you can follow. If it gives you knowledge, this gives me doubt. Who should I follow? This one, that one. So that's why when our Maraja, when our scholars, they say satisfaction, you can't just take scientific data black and white, because scientists, they differ. They did not see the moon. They are using equations. They are using the height and the low and the illumination and all these kind of numbers. They put it and they come to conclusion, and then they make this computer images of the moon being sightable and non-sightable. There's a lot of hard work. May Allah bless them. However, they may have differences. So when does the moon sighting, the astronomer give me satisfaction? When they both agree. Where there are about 4 or 5. You collect the data of 4 or 5, and if you see they all agree, you don't have to see the moon, because they have given you knowledge. The moon is there in your sky in a sightable condition. The only thing which could stop is clouds or anything else. Otherwise, it is in the sightable. They can guarantee that if they all agree. However, if they disagree, then you don't have itmi'nan. You have doubt. So that's why Imam Sadiq alayhi salam tells, don't depend on doubt. That means if you are certain, follow. Don't depend on doubt in the sighting. So here we can see East Ivory Coast. In both cases, for followers of Sayyid Alkhoei, this also says South America is included, okay, in the sighting zone. This also includes Texas also. Texas and Seattle also. However, Khalid Shaukat considers them in telescopic zone and not naked eye. This blue line is naked eye. Red is telescope with difficulty. Gray is telescope with easily. Blue is naked eye if the weather conditions are perfect. And green is everybody would see it. So this green and blue zone. So see, blue zone starts here in the middle of Mexico here. And this person's blue zone is red zone. Starts where? Goes all the way through Texas, California, Portland. So from Portland to south, and that is difference. So this people living in Portland cannot have itmi'nan, satisfaction. Okay. So this is how you gain satisfaction. You collect the data from several scholars. So this one has this North America, parts of North America included in the sighting zone. So this is the yellow orange is even Vancouver, parts of Canada, this Michigan, Big Lakes, Windsor, perhaps Toronto also. So this astro says even in Toronto and these places it can be sighted, the cities adjacent to the United States, because this orange is blue, this orange color is blue, this yellow is telescopic, these three telescopic zones. So now we come back to comparing. So basically now we are expecting Ashura, first Muharram, to be on Friday for the followers of Sayyid Sistani, for the followers of Sayyid Alkhoei, from America to half of India, they can have it on the 20th of August, Thursday. But majority will have it on Friday, first Muharram. Okay, now I just wanted to show you the astronomers, they differ. Okay, so you can see the blue area. The blue area is where it covers South America. And look at this guy. This guy's blue area is this guy's orange area. This guy's orange area, the first point starts is from West Africa, Ivory Coast. So that is what we are trying to say to those people who are so much impressed by science. What are Maraja doing? All these kind of things bashing on the Maraja. That's why I tell them ignorance with a capital I, compound. Because scientists are not in agreement. See this? There is the whole, this Atlantic Ocean distance between this point and this point. See, this Ivory Coast and this. Maybe small areas, but scientists disagrees with scientists in a huge area, cross the Atlantic Ocean. And then we also mentioned the problems with the dateline. Now let's come to our so three Sayyid Alkhoei at 3 points. Sayyid Sistani responds to those 3 points. Sayyid Alkhoei, Sayyid Sistani responded to the first scientific point with 5 points. 3 points we did. Now we are going to take the 4th point. So in the 4th point, the narration of Muammar ibn Khalad. It's a narration. What does this narration say? I'll give you the gist because the time is running short. And inshallah, next week we are going to discuss the respond to the narrations. So Muammar ibn Khalad says, I visited Imam Rida alayhi salam on 30th Sha'ban. And I did not see him fasting. And they brought him food, dinner or lunch. They brought him lunch. Ma'idah. Ma'idah means a dining food, like not like Amir al-Mu'minin. They would never say ma'idah. They would say piece of bread. But why Imam Sadiq used to eat lavish? Na'udhu billah? No. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam had so many servants. So the servants would eat with, when ma'idah, when the table was served, means that his servants are going to sit with him. His family members would sit and eat together. So that was the nature of our A'imma alayhi salam, which has been lost nowadays. The son is in his bedroom eating, the daughter is in her bedroom eating. No one comes on the dining. This dining area is sunnat of our A'imma alayhi salam. Please observe the dining. Sit together with your family members. Sit with your father. Sit with your mother. Sit with your siblings. Have a proper day. You get reward on this dining together. Faqala. So I came and I saw, mashallah, food was served at that time. He did not come purposely because he thought Imam would be fasting. So he says, please come closer. And it was after Dhuhr time. Still Maghrib was not there. فَقُلْتُ, I said, may my life be sacrificed to you. سُمْتَ الْيَوْمِ, may my life, you fasted today. فَقَالَ لِي وَلِمَا, and why shouldn't I fast? I'm sorry, Imam told him, okay? He said, جُعِلْتُ فِدَاكَ سُمْتُ الْيَوْمِ, may my life be sacrificed to you. I fasted today. Imam says, فَقَالَ لِي وَلِمَا, he asked me, why? قُلْتُ جَاءَ عَنْ أَبِي عَبْدِ اللَّهِ, he said, I said in the hadith of Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, says that whoever fasts this 30th of Sha'ban, he is from those who has been succeeded. يَوْمٌ وُفِّقَ لَهُ. Imam clarifies. Imam says, this is not what Imam Sadiq mentioned. He says, أليس تدرون إنما ذلك إذا كان لا يعلم أهو من شعبان أم من شهر رمضان. Don't you know that this day of fast is if a person did not know whether this 30th Sha'ban is from the Sha'ban or from the first day of the holy month of Ramadan. فَصَامَهُ الرَّجُلُ, and when the man fasts in this day, فَكَانَ مِنْ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانَ كَانَ يَوْمًا وُفِّقَ لَهُ. If he has fasted this day, and if it appeared to be from the day of the holy month of Ramadan, then he got success in fasting the day of holy month of Ramadan. He succeeded. Why? Because, my beloved ones, nothing is more beautiful, more pleasurable to Allah than fast in the holy month of Ramadan. Nowadays, this norm of qada, okay, I'm tired, I'll just go travel and break the fast. It is not, you're missing a lot. Those days, they used to be very peculiar about not missing one day of the holy month of Ramadan. So they would fast 30th Sha'ban in order to grab that. In case if it was holy month of Ramadan, then I got it. Wuffiqa. So Imam Rada says this is what Imam meant. That if there was doubt, not if you are sure that there's nothing in the sky is clear, what type of doubt you have now? Okay, فَكَانَ مِنْ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانَ كَانَ يَوْمًا وُفِّقَ لَهُ فَأَمَّا, and as for وَلَيْسَ عِلَّةٌ وَلَا شُبْهَةٌ, if there was no obstacles and no confusion and no doubt, that means the sky was clear, as Sayyid Sistani explains, فَلَا, there is no tawfiq. It is not from the, yes, you will get the thawab of 30th Sha'ban, but you will not get the success of the holy month of Ramadan, because definitely it's not holy month of Ramadan. Definitely. Why? Yes, because the sky was clear, there was nothing in the sky. So Here, if Imam would consider sharing of the night concept, at least he would consider this a doubtful day, because there are regions without any doubt the moon will be sighted with clarity and they share the night. Like after 10 hours, after 8 hours, there must be a region which shares Medina al-Munawwara in the moon, in the night. And they might have. So why Imam alayhi salam did not consider this day a doubtful day, at least just to correspond the other places with sharing of the night? No, because sharing of the night, the concept was not even pictured or imagined or presented by our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, or practiced by Imam. Imam is not practicing the concept of sharing of the night. We said Imam knows that after 2-3 hours, other region wills, because he's expecting the moon to be sighted. He has been following, he has been tracking the moon. So he's expecting so therefore, but he is no, he's in peace and calm, enjoying his table, dinner, lunch with his servant. So here he says that, so here he says that if the doubt if the doubt, let me fix this. If the doubt of the beginning of the if the doubt of being the first of the holy month is the criteria for fasting as a precautionary fast, then without any doubt, based on the sharing of the night, Imam must have observed the precautionary fast due to vast mathematical and astronomical knowledge about the movement of the moon. Then why did he not observe precaution? That's the question Sayyid Sistani asked Sayyid Alkhoei, that why didn't he at least fast, precautionary fast? Because the moon was not in their sky, sightable condition. But some place there was in a sightable condition. But Imam would never fast precautionary fast. You see, because if that was valid, at least he would be a role model to show the people to fast a precautionary fast. I hope this point is clear. This point was very technical. Hadith says, this guy comes and says, I wanted to be successful in fasting this day. Imam says, why? He says, Imam Sadiq said. Imam Sadiq said, if there was a doubt in the day, not if the skies were clear and there was no obstacle and nothing, and you knew that it is definitely not the holy month of Ramadan, then it's not the day of doubt, it's not Yawm al-Shak. So you fast then. So that is the point, that why didn't Imam use precaution, at least if sharing of the night? It says, فَلَا يَتَّجَهْ نَهْيِ الْإِمَامِ عَنْ صِيَامِهِ. And why should he invite him and tell him you don't need to fast ihtiyatan? Because there is no case of precautionary measure here, because it's not a doubtful situation. If the sharing of the night was valid, then this day would have been doubted, because we don't know whether Spain has sighted or not. Fifth, and we'll be done with this. The fifth narration, Mu'tabarat Muhammad ibn Isa. He wrote a letter to Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. أخبرني يا مولاي, tell me my master, أنه ربما أشكل, and this is very important. The astronomers were there in the time of the Imam alayhi salam, but their accuracy level was not as this accuracy. So that's why Imam is telling him that this is a kind of doubt, because their accuracy level was not as the accuracy level here at this time. So, because here the astronomer words have been used. أنه ربما أشكل علينا هلال رمضان. There are times we get confused. You see, we don't know. We did not see it in the sky. فلا نراه ونرى في السماء ليست فيها علة. And the skies are clear without any obstacles, without any difficulties. فيفطر الناس. So people are not fasting the 30th of the Sha'ban. ونفطر معه. And we followers of Ahlul Bayt, we also are not fasting. ويقول قوم من الحساب قبلنا. one of the accountants or one of the mathematicians from us, he tells us, إنه يرى في تلك الليلة. It is sighted. It is in a sightable position tonight. Where? In that night which we did not have sighted. In that night, exactly with the yura bi'ayniha, exactly with its sight, or like yura fi tilka al-layla bi'ayniha, bi'ayn al-ru'ya, and there might be other interpretations also, with the eye sighting. So this is a prediction that it is going to be sighted. It is going to be sighted. Okay? في تلك الليلة بعينها. Where? Same moon is going to be sighted. We don't see it. In Egypt, بمصر. وأفريقيا, in Africa, والأندلس. They share the night with Medina or not? Yes, they share the night. You want to be satisfied? Let's go to the sharing of the night. Yes, it's a whole pack of night zone from Spain till Medina. Okay? Okay, so now فهل يجوز يا مولاي? So it is acceptable for me, O my master. فهل يجوز? It is acceptable to rely on whatever the mathematicians has mentioned. O my master, is it permissible? Is it permissible? ما قاله الحساب, whatever the mathematicians have said في هذا الباب, in this section, in this area of the moon sighting, حتى يختلف الفرض, to this extent that the wajib, fard means farida, wajib, fard, the wajib is different. على أهل الأمصار, the regions, some will fast one day, some will fast second day. فيكون صومهم خلاف صومنا, their fast is going to be different than our fast. Is it possible that people, they fast different fasts? You see, S Alkhoei said no, one fast. Here they are thinking that the fast should be one. But based on this, the astronomers, the fast of those Egypt and Africa will be different than the fast of ours. Okay? Is it acceptable then, Ya Mawlai, that to have multiple fasts, variety of fasts? ما قال الحساب في هذا الباب حتى يختلف الفرض, so that the wajib is different. على أهل الأمصار, for the different regions we have different wajib. فيكون, or should we unite it and we take their sighting? فيكون صومهم خلاف صومنا, their fasting will be different than our fasting. وفطرهم خلاف فطرنا, and their breaking their fast on the day of Eid will be different than our Eid. So Imam wrote a response. فوقع, that means he signed a response. What was the response of the Imam? لا تصومن من الشك أفطر لرؤيته وصم لرؤيته. Do not fast on doubt, fast of the holy month of Ramadan. If you break your fast, Eid, break by sighting. If you fast, then fast by sighting. Now, few points say the Sistani mentions here. Did Imam tell them, don't rely on mathematicians? No. On the contrary, say the Sistani says, there's an approval here that Imam did not condemn. It means Imam approved. The only thing Imam said that make sure, okay, that it is in a sightable condition. So make sure how? That means, do we have the similar horizon? Okay, so Andalus, Spain, they can sight, but can Medina sight also? Okay, so the astronomical calculations can indicate, yes, the moon is sightable in my region, but I couldn't sight. Okay, and again, one more technical thing. Medina, where is Medina? In the east. Where is Africa, Egypt, Spain from Medina? In the west. In the west. So again, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is indicating the sky is clear. So that means you did not sight the moon. If they sighted the moon, then they are responsible for that sighting. you have to have the moon in your sky in a sightable condition. Then if you did not sight, that's fine according to other narration. But the moon must be in the sky in a sightable condition. The guy asked, there's nothing in the sky. So if sharing of the night based on nothing in my sky was acceptable, okay, Imam would not told him that do not fast on doubt. Do not fast on, because this creates only doubt. There is nothing there, okay? And you think that you have sharing of the night, you have to follow that region? No. What are your arguments? What are your supportive things? What are your calculation? What all this? So everything is doubt for you. And as we mentioned previously, the accuracy level also might be doubtful. Now let's say hypothetically they were accurate, but still they are in the east and those regions are in the west. So Imam did not tell him to follow them. Imam did not condemn him from the from astronomical calculations or astronomical directions. So this is something which Sayyid Sistani mentions. I'll just read in English and we'll be done for today. Just for the Eid al-Ghadir, we just kept one session. So the idea of different horizon was there in their mindset, okay? That if the words of the mathematicians were valid, then without any doubt, such would indicate the difference in the obligation of the fast. Thus, it would be obligated in those regions where the moon was sightable specifically. No one even thought that they had to fast according to other regions. It was not in the. That's why the norm was in our region or regions. So it was something unique. The scholars, the scientists, they would ask these kind of questions, or those who are related with scientists, or those who have the scientific knowledge. Otherwise, people, they did not come in their mind. Neither Imam told them that, no, you have to do the sharing of the night. No one thought that they had to fast according to other regions. That is why the question came to Imam, alayhi peace be upon him, from a few narrators, like this narration or like this narrator. Response of the Imam, peace be upon him, did not prohibit the person from the criteria in his mindset. Imam did not say, you're wrong, don't think like that, don't depend on the mathematicians. Those days, they could not call, because Munajjim was somebody who would do astrology. So the other definition of the astronomer was the mathematicians. They used to use pure mathematics and calculations of science. The response of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam did not prohibit the person from the criteria in his mindset. However, he made a general statement about avoiding speculations, if not approving such criteria about following the mathematicians. Okay, so he said Imam did not prohibit them. So Imam's response, he did not prohibit the person from from whatever was in his mindset. Let me fix this. So the Imam in response, the Imam did not prohibit the person from the criteria in his mindset. However, he made a general statement about avoiding speculation. So this statement needs to come here. He made a general statement. If not approving such criteria about following the mathematics, as it is going to be mentioned, inshallah. So he's going to mention that in certain areas, Imams alayhi salam, they approve the criteria of mathematicians. These are 5 main points in response to the scientific concepts used by Sayyid Alkhoei Quddasa Sirruh. So again, there are 5 things. I'm just going to quickly mention the summary. The 5 points. Scientifically, it does not mean if it is out from the shadow, that means all the people of the earth, they can see. Number two, he mentions, in the east area, since there is sharing of the night, that means in the east area, definitely they are east of the night where it was sighted. Definitely the next day is going to be the Eid, not this day. More than that, northern areas, in southern areas, in certain, the moon is not in a sightable condition. So when he said that once it's out sightable to the whole people of earth, that is due to the lack of resources which S Alkhoei had, and does not scratch his a'lamiyya, his being most knowledgeable in that time. Okay, so that was number two. Number three, imams, if imams sharing of the night was valid concept, then imams ibadat, hajj and fasting are invalid. Number four, remember the guy who came with the table, with the came and 30th Shaban, and imam told him, come closer, Imam Rida alayhi salam. So that indicated that if the sharing of the night concept was there, imam would have fasted that day, you see, because there was no moon in the sky. There was no moon in the sky. So that means imam did not use precaution based on the sharing of the night. Otherwise, sharing of the night was more prior. Number five, and the last one, which we said that the guy writes to the imam that scientifically Spain, Africa, and Egypt would see, but our sky would be clear, no obstacle, nothing. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam said, La tasumanna ma'ashak. Don't fast on speculations. After li ru'yatah, wasum li ru'yatah. Break your fast, Eid, with citing it, and fast the first day of the holy month by citing it. So these are the five arguments. I hope they are clear. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Enjoy Eid al-Ghadir. Congratulations, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on the vilayat of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib in this world and the world after, and bless us his intercession, and let us be all on the path of our beloved 12th Imam Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Khushali Mubarak to all of you. Eid Mubarak. Wassalamu alaikum.